Hey guys, this is Marco Robinson, #1 best-selling author and, most importantly, financially free. Welcome to my home today, as I'm going to be sharing with you some very important information, some exciting information, and really to get you some real clarity of where you can be in the next couple of years in terms of financial freedom. Now, what you've got to think about is the objective. All my students' objective is simply this. Replace your salary with passive income, fire your boss, and live life on your terms. So basically, you can do what you love to do because you have the time to do it and the income to do it with. And that's what life, my friends, is all about. Now, in a moment, I'm going to show you some very powerful testimonials from students recently who've already achieved financial freedom and how their lives have changed because of it. Please watch this now.
Hi everyone, I'm Wen Pin. I've attended Marco Robinson's bootcamp, the secondary attendance this weekend. In fact, I've attended his first class 1 year ago, and I have found something very amazing as I go through the bootcamp again last weekend. Because there was one session whereby we were supposed to go through our goals and property goals, and I realized that 1 year ago, the short-term goals that I put in, for example, to quit the job, I actually fired my boss this year. And for the area whereby I want to own one property with $100,000, within a year, I actually lock in 4 properties. So that is very, very amazing, and I'm very, very happy for the achievement that I've achieved for the last 1 year. And there's something I like very much about Marco's bootcamp. For him, he not only shared about the property investment and the knowledge, on top of that, it is the mindset. How we think, how we believe in things, and everything about how we think and do things actually change and blow my mind. Which is why within the last 1 year, I can achieve what I used to think was unimaginable. In fact, I've attended many classes, and so far, Marco's class is the only one which I've really attended 2 times, not to mention the ongoing mentoring that he has given to us. So indeed, I'm very grateful that I have the chance to attend his class for these few times, and I recommend everyone to go for this class because it is really worth it, and it will help us definitely in creating our financial freedom. Thank you so much.
Friday morning, and in the past 4 days I've accomplished so much. First thing I've learned was my net worth. A lot of people don't realize the net worth. I'm worth 2 million ringgit. The problem was I don't have much cash flow, and I didn't realize that until I attended the boot camp and did the exercise. I had a wrong paradigm previously. The paradigm was to buy property, pay cash, or settle the loan as soon as possible and rely on rental income as passive income. The problem with that is, like now, if I had 4 properties untenanted, I would have issues with cash flow, and therefore it would have a great impact on my lifestyle. However, what Marco taught me was the use of leverage, and with properties, it's the best commodity to leverage. You know, you can't leverage shares as much, you can't leverage bonds as much, gold or whatever. Properties you can leverage many times, and you could quickly multiply your passive income. So I'm very happy Marco taught me how to make that shift in my beliefs to go into a new paradigm. And also, he gave me a compelling reason why I should do it. In theory, perhaps I had known what to do, but there was no urgency. So attending this boot camp gave me clarity, and he also gave me the tools which gave me mastery over what I needed to do and gave me the confidence to go out and do it. So in the past 4 days, I've made changes. I've applied for mortgages and personal loans for the short term, and restructured a lot of my current debt to lower my overhead temporarily. Like I said, I have 4 properties untenanted, and by stroke of good luck, one of them was rented out last night. So things are picking up, improving. I'd like to make a little comparison with what I did 6 years ago. 6 years ago, I bought 2 properties on auction. And if you've never bought properties on auction, there's always that fear that you might do something wrong. So before I bought those 2 properties on auction, I bought them within a week actually. I spent the previous 6 months going to every auction in town, learning the psychology of auctions, how people get carried away with the bidding, learn how to determine your exit price before you go into the auction. But it took me 6 months and lots of books to read. Attending Marco's workshop, you learn everything you need to do over the weekend, and he also gives mentoring and hand-holding and reassurance so that you can work out what you want to do and go run it by him, and he'll give you his opinion. And he's someone who's done it before. He's not an academic who knows it in theory. He's actually done it, experienced it. He went through whatever you're going through. So you're learning from a mentor rather than a teacher or trainer. So I'm very pleased with my investment, my time and money in Marco Robinson's program. I'm delighted. He's exceeded my expectations.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed those videos and some of our students sharing their lives with you. There are many, many more. And once you remember, you'll meet many more of those people in our retreats and the live workshops that we do together, which is really fantastic fun. We all have a great time because we're all financially free, because we have the time to do what we love to do. Now, you're probably wondering quite a few things from the videos I've shared with you this week already. And one of those things I get asked a lot is, you're probably thinking, is this for me? You know, am I too old? Am I too young? Is this kind of thing, do I want financial freedom? What actually is that? Well, I can definitely tell you that this is for everybody. Because what you've got to think about is financial freedom allows you the space and time to do what you really want to do. And if you think about the job you have and the people around you and the jobs they have and all the hours they're working and sacrificing just to make ends meet, you probably realize that that kind of life is not really a life that is fulfilling. It's not really a life that's happy. And it's a life full of stress, because all you're doing is working your ass off basically to make ends meet. And even if you do well in your job, you know, you get promoted, you get a bigger salary, well, that comes with more responsibility, more time and more stress. Now, I know that because I struggled with that. I rose to the top of the corporate ladder and had even more stress and problems, more money, but more stress, which wasn't worth it because it affected my relationships, it affected my life. And basically, it completely ruined my health. So, is this for you? Absolutely, definitely. And this is something you need to do something about now. One of the other questions I get asked a lot is, how long does it take to be financially free? Now, this is a very good question and a very common question I get asked all the time. Well, that really depends on two things. First of all, it depends on how hungry you are to follow my blueprint. Secondly, it depends on how you execute the strategies within the blueprint. Now, the amazing thing about the Wealth Revolution, why people love it, is because we mentor you through those strategies, which are applicable in any market at the right time. And of course, we advise you what strategies to use for your particular situation, because everyone is different. So some people, it can take a few months to be financially free just by reallocating the equity in their houses to invest in positive cash flow properties. Some people don't have property or don't own any assets, so for them it takes a little bit longer. But realistically, you're looking at a period of 2 years on average to become financially free. And what you've got to ask yourself is this: would you rather work, you know, a little bit hard for 2 years and become financially free, or would you rather work hard for the rest of your life for the next 40 years and retire financially broke? That's really the question you have to ask yourself. 2 years is realistic, and I think you'd agree with me. How would you feel in 2 years' time when you don't have to work again and you don't need a salary ever again? I can tell you right now, it's an amazing feeling. You know, when my students reach that point, their life changes immeasurably, but not just temporarily, it changes forever. And that's the beauty of financial freedom. Next question I get asked quite a lot is, do I need much money to invest? Do I need $100,000? Do I need $1 million in the bank before I can start investing? The answer is no, you don't. In fact, we have such great deals that we find. We actually do crowdfunding deals, which mean you don't have to buy a property on your own, because many of our members would like to share a purchase. So sometimes, you know, it can cost you as little as $5,000 to get involved in a property. It can cost you as little as $1,000 to get involved in an investment. And the point is, the whole point of that is I can show you how to borrow that money So you don't need to use your own cash, because it's very important that you have an emergency fund always, at all times, in liquid cash. And I will show you how to borrow the rest so you can start investing, because you're investing in very high return assets, but of course the cost of investment is very low. The cost of borrowing is a lot lower than what you get back in return. So, you know, that's something you really need to get your head around, because all my students are now doing this. Next question I get asked a lot is, are my strategies applicable where you are living in your country? Now, here's something very interesting. As an investor myself, I invest in around 6 countries in the world. I don't live in those six countries in the world, but my strategies are applicable in all countries in the world, because I know and I show you how to decode the market so you can invest in that particular market. So, for example, I show you how to read the cycles, the property cycles of each market, because they're all different. They all start different times, they all finish different times. I show you how to get a bank account in those countries, because you need to start to establish credit so you can start to borrow money. So I show you how to do that in those different places. So yes, my strategies are applicable in basically every country in the world. It doesn't matter. What is more important is basically investing in the right country at the right time and getting the right return on your investment. And that's what we share with you, and that's how I educate you. A lot of people ask me, can I jointly invest with my friends or family when I'm a member? Yes, absolutely, you definitely can. In fact, I encourage that you do that. I encourage you to bring your friends and family to our free events as often as you can. And I encourage you to join up and, you know, bring your family and friends and educate them in what you're doing, because trust me, they will thank you for that. If you can help your friends and family become financially free like you, then you have more people to play with when you're financially free, because you've all got more time. You've all got all this, the things you want to do, and sometimes you want to share that with someone. And that's very important. You know, if you are with a partner, you definitely want to share that with your partner, because when you can do that, that's an amazing life, because you can really, in a relationship, you can really become closer and do a lot more things together and have a far happier life. So yes, the answer to that question is a resounding yes, you can invest with your family. Another question I get asked quite a lot is, what is the success rate of our students? Now, this is a very important question for you, and I've really already answered that for you, and I will qualify this question. This is the condition. If you follow each step of my 10-step blueprint, you will be guaranteed to be financially free. In fact, if you don't become financially free, I'll give you the money back. That's how sure I am in terms of how my system is effective in bringing you financial freedom. All you have to do is follow the steps. All you have to guarantee me is that you're going to follow the steps, and then financial freedom becomes available to everybody. It's really as simple as that. But if you don't follow the steps, if you don't take the first step, then you're not going to be financially free. It's very simple, isn't it? Can I start investing immediately? Well, you can start investing immediately. Of course, the answer is yes. However, we do advise that before you start investing, you sit down with one of our mentors, which can be a Skype conversation. And what we do is we analyze your existing situation financially with your existing portfolio to make sure that you're making the right decisions, and really to make sure that you are, for example, if you're in some kind of debt, we show you how to get out of that debt. So you're going to need to have different strategies before you start investing. So yes, you can invest immediately, but under our guidance. And that's why people love what we do, because you are guided and mentored and educated before you start spending or investing any money. Next question is, what's the application process in terms of getting a loan to buy a house? Well, when you're a member of the Wealth Revolution, there is basically no application process. There is no long paperwork. There is no 50-page contract. I will guarantee you a loan, non-status. Non-status means it doesn't matter what situation you're in, I will guarantee the loan, because I am also the developer. How do you feel about that? Pretty exciting, right? So it means that every loan you apply for through me, you'll get a yes. That's the difference, because I'm not a banker, I'm a developer. So that's really exciting and people love that. Also, how frequently will new content be added to the membership? Well, we actually add content at least on a monthly basis. And we have many points of contact with you. So, for example, we have a closed Facebook community group, which we contact people regularly and update people. We have email. We have an app that you can contact through us, which we post information through. So there's so many ways that we update information to you. And of course, you have a membership website. So when you log into your website, you'll be able to see all the current asset listings, what education is available. You'll be able to re-watch videos that you've not seen for a while. You'll be able to watch weekend seminars going over my 10 steps. You'll be able to watch advanced property workshops going over my steps in that membership site, you know, in your own home at your own time. So that's the amazing thing about that. And how much is the cost of the membership? Well, don't worry about the cost of the membership. There are thousands of people joining this membership now because the cost is not expensive. It's inexpensive. It's all about investing in yourself. And if you don't do that now, you're not going to be financially free, because this education is not available in any university, school, or any facility around the world. Now, one of the most, I would say, the greatest questions I get asked is, if I start from scratch today, what's the first thing I should do? So, if you want to start from scratch, from totally zero, what's the first thing you need to do? So the first thing I always say to you, by default, my answer will always be the same. And my answer to you is, if you're starting from scratch, you must first invest in your education, nothing else. So don't go out buying the first property that you see. Don't go and answer an advert in the newspaper and buy property. Don't go into your Gmail and look at a property in Detroit for $10,000 with a 20% return and think, oh my God, that's so good, because it's not good, guys, trust me. Detroit is 50% vacant in property, the highest crime in the USA, and you will have a nightmare. So trust me, don't go and do that. The most important thing you need to do is invest in your education, and that is critical because it gives you the confidence, it gives you the education, and it minimizes your risk to invest. Because when you invest, you don't want to be emotional. If you're putting all of your money into one property and you've got no money left, would you agree with me you're going to be very emotional if that investment doesn't go right? So we never advise you to do that. The most important thing is education, and please be mentored. That's absolutely what you need to do in the first place. So please think about that, because when you're educated by me and my fellow mentors, you're going to learn that the first thing you need to do is invest in positive cash flow investments, and you have to start beating inflation, because inflation is the killer of people's financial lives. And really, inflation is the cost of living. And the rise of the cost of living in recent years has gone through the roof. But the problem is people's salaries have stayed the same. So actually, people's disposable income is becoming less and less. People's quality of life is becoming less and less. And this is why you have to do this yesterday. But you can't do it yesterday because yesterday's gone. So now you have to do it now.